Welcome to the ISO Show, dispelling myths and sharing tips for success to improve your business with ISO standards, with your host, Mel Blackmore.
Hello and welcome to the ISO Show. In this episode, we're going to go right back to basics for those that have just joined our amazing podcast and are thinking, what the heck is ISO? So let's go back to basics. ISO is the International Organisation for Standardisation. Hang on a minute, I bet you're thinking, shouldn't it be IOS if it's International Organisation for Standardisation? Well, yes, you're right, it would be in English, or it would be OIN in French for Organisation Internationale de Normalisation. Great French accent, eh? Maybe not. Well, this isn't a great start for an organisation to agree on standards internationally, is it? So in the end, the founders decided to give it the short form ISO, which is actually derived from the Greek meaning isos, which is actually meaning equal. So that's the Greek isos meaning equal. So whatever the country, whatever the language, we are always ISO, equal. So where did it all begin? Well, the ISO story began back in 1946 when delegates from 25 different countries met at the Institute of Civil Engineering here in London. They decided to create a new international organisation which was derived to facilitate the international coordination and unification of industrial standards. The following year, the new organisation ISO officially began setting standards for the world's trade. So today, ISO have standards bodies members from 164 countries now. And it's not just about industrial standards either. It's about standards for all sorts of different services, products, you name it, they're out there. And they've actually got 781 technical committees and subcommittees to take care of the development of those standards. So what do international standards actually do? Well, quite simply, they provide a recipe for making things work. They give world-class specifications for products, services and systems to ensure quality, safety and sustainability. So in many cases, they're actually instrumental in facilitating international trade. So ISO helps to put standards at the heart of the global agenda, and it helps to define a clear path for businesses, regardless of size, whether they're large or small. And you could say that in this day and age, our world faces complex global issues and uncertainty about how we do business. Whether it's climate change issues or technological advances such as the Internet of Things and smart homes and smart devices. But never before has there been such a demand for international standards to help us to define what best practice actually is. Now on the ISO show, we typically talk about management system standards, such as ISO 9001 for quality and ISO 27001 for information security. But believe it or not, ISO standards have actually published 22,942 international standards. Yes, that's right, there's actually over 22,000 standards. So they really do touch almost every aspect of our lives, from making a cup of tea, yes, that one does exist, right through to designing submarines. So what is an ISO standard? Well, quite simply, it's a document that provides specifications, guidelines, or characteristics that can be used to ensure that materials, products, processes and services are fit for their purpose. So if we look at ISO 9001, that's a specification. That provides a recipe for the things that you need to have in place really to run a successful business. So what they do is they bring real and measurable benefits to almost every sector imaginable. I mean, at Blackmores we've implemented ISO standards in construction, engineering, right through to stadiums like Wembley Stadium. So it really does cover every single sector. And these standards help to underpin not only the services that we rely on, but also technologies that we're developing, and just helps to provide that assurance of the quality that we come to expect as consumers. Of course, not everything needs to be standardised. International standards only address shared challenges and things that matter most. So what matters most to you? Is it sustainability? In which case there are ISO standards for that. Is it growing your business? If that's the case, there are quality standards in all sorts of different sectors. Or is it about keeping customers happy? On the next ISO show, we'll look at the 5 most popular standards and why they matter most. Until then, if you'd like to find out more about ISO standards and the benefits, check out our website, www.blackmoresuk.com. Until then, I look forward to catching up with you on the next ISO show.
Looking to use ISO standards to drive better business practice?